to say we can't. I'm asking you a question though.
I can't talk to you.
Okay, I'll ask you after.
We caused all of these people.
Prophet Muhammad is a nonsense.
If this country was at a civil war where I would be dead if I would stay in this country. And it's not just because I'm a man, it's also because I'm a nationalist. I'm proud of this country, I love this country.
I'd say I'm proud of it as well, and I love this country. But
okay, and would you fight for this country if it got to that point?
Right now, no.
Why?
Because I don't agree with the people in power.
Why do you not agree? Well, we can go digress down that line of argumentation, but surely, because you're British, you have an obligation to this country regardless of the state that it's in. It's like a family.
A speech to say that you're a twat.
Okay, nice ginger moustache man, I'm assuming you were bullied in school.
That's all good. Yeah.
Now, it's like a family, right? A country is its family. Do you have siblings?
Yeah.
Brother, sister?
Yeah, brother, sister. Yeah.
Okay. If your sister become a drug addict, would you still love her?
Yeah.
Would you still help your sister go through the troubles of being rehabilitated? Okay, same thing with the country. If the country's in a shit state, you should help your country. Because just as much as you'd help your sister, which is your family, you should help your country, because it's your family.
Oh, yeah, what I see is with my family, that's
Can you put that back in there?
at the moment, especially with the government, or even
put that in here.
So you are British for your blood, my friend. And your ancestors are British, are they not?
But then you can always look down further.
He's just not speaking loud enough.
Open this one, there's a drink in there
I'll
for you.
speak quieter. Yeah, that's fine. I'll speak quieter. Yeah, I'll speak quieter.
I've lost a train of thought.
Yeah, we spoke about your sister compared to a country.
Oh, you're buying a drink
So with just throw me on.
Maybe it was the loud voice. Maybe that's what got him to speak.
So with the people in power, especially when we talk about taking country, or like when you used to say if I was around the time of World War I, World War II, maybe a bit after that, I would probably fight for my country, because I have a view that is quite a proud thing to look at. We defend our own country.
Yeah.
However, now the way I see it with us going into, say for example, Tony Blair, what he did in Iraq.
No, I'm not telling you to go to Iraq. I'm not telling you to go to Iraq, my friend.
No, but what I'm saying though,
I'm saying that if your country is being invaded, no, okay, I think we're speaking past each other. I'm suggesting that if there is something that you could do for your country that would make your country better, would you do it?
Yes.
Fantastic. I believe that migrants should do the same for their own.
But the issue is they can't.
They can.
Well, right, so say to a family who their house has been obliterated, they've lost half of their family, a lot of them may be injured. You say to them, oh right, go and build it quickly.
Yeah, I'm saying that if we didn't have a brain drain on these countries and they had the manpower former to then mass on exodus leaving, they could potentially overthrow the oppressive governments of these countries.
And also when you go back to, we need to deport all these millions of people, don't you think we need to look inward and look at, maybe we actually caused all of these people, we caused all of these people to come to this country via wars that we created.
But again, yeah, I'm not suggesting we go to other countries.
No, but what I'm saying though is, shouldn't we take a bit of a step back and go, we need to actually have a look and say, all these people coming here.
We can do both at the same time. Like, my analogy to you would just be, if there's a hole in the fence and you fill up the hole, doesn't matter how many people are on the other side of the fence, they can be crawling at the fence all they want, but if the fence is built up properly and nicely, they can't come on the other side of the fence. The same thing with migration.
There should be no fucking fences!
My friend, keep on drinking your alcohol and be very content with your life, no need to shout. What I would say to you is just that, look at Poland. Poland is in close proximity to other Western nations. In the eyes of a radical jihadi, they're equally responsible to what's going on in Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, and all of these other countries who've been involved in. Why then go to Poland? Well, because Poland has armed guards with live ammunition rounds, and if you try to go in illegally, you'll get shot. And in fact, they actually have to pay a fine. My friend, with the kill. I love the aesthetics, but please drink your alcohol and be quiet. But as I was saying, you don't go in, if you can't get access to your country, you can blame us all you want, but you can't get through the fence.
The way I see it though, so for example, with how when we left the EU, for example, if you look at the immigrants that we took in, for example, yes, okay, that well, you know, it's like with anything, there will be bad people in any group of people that you let in. So I think when you talk about supporting millions, I think I think you do need to be careful
I think you
with
need
in
to
terms of the
lift this mic up.
group of
I'm
people.
not, I was going to do that, but the mic itself is kind of shit. It keeps on
Well, why?
closing down.
If it causes offence to someone.
Because a lot of these people
At that level, it stays
have came in our country and, for example, helped out in our healthcare, helped out in many other, helped out in our.
I'm jealous, Santa giving you a fist bump, that's quite rare. No, but okay. Can I have a fist bump? Okay, great. So what I would say to you is just that, you know, I don't think of people as economic units. A lot of, like the Muslim community, for example, they can be good GPs, they can be good doctors, but if they don't properly integrate into our communities, if they have certain cultures and beliefs that aren't so desirable and constitutionally un-British, then why should we have them here? I mean, resources are synergistic. Yes, they provide us with public services, but they also strain public services. A good example of that is the NHS posting a statement saying, the Muslim community, can you please stop marrying your cousins? Because smashing your cousins and having consanguineous children puts a strain on the NHS.
So I say, so I'm from Newcastle. So where those.
Oh, very captured.
So basically, the way I say it, so for my life, I've been friends with. I mean, there's a massive Jewish community in Gateshead. There's loads of Muslims around, especially where I live. And for me, they've all integrated themselves really well. Like
Newcastle's a perfect example of what's going on.
Do you mean Sunderland?
Oh, I thought you said Newcastle. Sorry.
No. I mean Newcastle, but I'd say for me.
Can I use Newcastle as an example? The centre of Newcastle. Any regenerated area, Manchester, Newcastle, and I'm talking about the town centre, not the surrounding areas, is a great example of where this country's falling short. You make these areas an industry for university students who aren't native to the land. They've grown up probably around here, somewhere in Hertfordshire or whatever. So they're entitled, they don't know what this country, that area actually means to people. Then you simultaneously, because this area has been regenerated, import a bunch of foreigners, and because none of them are native to the land, none of them care about the land, and the native people of that particular land, so Bristol, Newcastle, whatever, they have to put up with the problem. You know, I have to constantly go to Bristol. Bristol, same demographics. A lot of the native Bristolians are very right wing. The university students get the Green Party elected, and they simply lobby for these university students, which means that they are just focusing on building university accommodation and also accommodation for migrants. That is the issue with mass migration and a lack of nationalism. University students, not native to the land, they don't really care. A lot of them are foreign students. They then will lobby for migrants to come into that land. And every so often, what inevitably happens is a migrant who lives in one of these refugee camps attacks one of the young girls at these universities, and you see a public scandal.
Okay. So, I mean, I can't speak for Bristol, but from where I'm from, where obviously, yes, there is a large import. I mean, so I live in a place called Jesmond, which is just on the outside, and I don't ever really hear a northern voice until the holidays.
So do you like that?
So, but I don't mind it because I get to meet so many different people. That's the joys of immigration. That's the joys of people coming in newer places. It's yes, okay, as we said before, you get these people who come and do the wrong. But I've seen many people, especially from my high school, from people who I've seen at uni, who have heard stories of at uni, who have been white Englishmen, even.
Could quickly interject, sorry. You mentioned a point. You said that these people, keep company.
Yeah.
But on an electoral level, there's the 7th of May, there's local elections. Yeah. These students can vote on local areas. They have no idea what these local areas need. They only care about university accommodation, because a lot of them are quite liberal and green. They care about making the speed limit 20 miles an hour. So that's an issue.
The way I see it,
they can be nice and friendly to you all they want, but they're lobbying for local governments to do fuck all about the major problems in this country.
I guess that depends on where you're talking about though. Because so for example, so obviously people who are like, around my age, 19, 20, they obviously tend to be left wing because it tends to, as you get older, you might get more and more right wing views. So, but obviously with Newcastle, especially the area around it, has always voted Labour. Always voted Labour. Like it's the biggest Labour stronghold probably in the country, apart from a few places. So I'd say where I'm from, it doesn't affect it that much.
So we are here at
But
Leicester
I
Square
think in
with
terms
young
of
Bob. Here comes the council officials.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, can you not?
He certainly do. Where's the police? Where's the police?
Westminster council official saying you're not allowed any amplified
He's a bit racist.
devices. So that lady on the right and this gentleman here on the left, accompanied by two police officers.
Alright, so I'll put this back to start. So I'll speak to you, bitch.
I'm getting shouted at. Apparently I'm causing obstruction, so all of you lovely people either come closer or please disperse because I don't want to get fined. Thank you.
I want to see you fight.
Children and married children and had at least 11 wives. Yeah, that's why it touches his heart, because he doesn't want the real truth to come out, but we already know the truth. Prophet Muhammad is a nonce.
in terms of
There's a lot of angry individuals passing by.
I didn't know that. No, it's fine. Trust me, yeah, I've got what I wanted today. I get it all the time.
We didn't say he did.
No, but he was saying something to the other Palestinians.
I didn't sort of flag it out.
Why can't we have your music? He's allowed.
We didn't say he's
It
not.
doesn't suit anyone else's narrative, does it? That's the problem.
We didn't say he did.
What did it? How did they have
Someone just come along and said they wanted to kill him. So why are you going to arrest him? I just told him to kill him. Exactly, he won't hear it.
You know what it is? Because they don't want to talk about Prophet Muhammad's a nonce. That's why.
Why should he?
I'm going to cut down.
All the men who submit to Allah, they're all nonces. They all rape kids and marry kids. They're all nonces.
We're going to finish today.
You know,
But
I
what-
want to have
what-
an amicable relationship with these people.
But brother, what authority have you got to say we can't? I'm asking you a question though.
I can't talk to you.
Okay, I'll ask you after.
I want to have an amicable relationship.
What jurisdiction have you got to tell people to turn off the microphone?
So there is a order in Leicester Square. There's no amplified. You can't use amplifiers at all. So buskers aren't allowed to use amplifiers. People aren't allowed to use amplified music.
So if it's not
That's it.
amplified, you can talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all we're worried
But
about.
why has he got the right to come over and?
So he works for council, and if the council goes to
He doesn't like us talking about his prophet because he's a nonce.
Christians, they do have
Prophet Muhammad was a nonce.
I've explained it.
I know, but you know what I mean. They like to marry young girls, 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, because they're nonces. The whole religion's a nonce. Because deep down, yeah, like this morning, a 33-year-old man from Afghanistan, yeah, raped a 19-year-old girl in North London. Today, yeah, because they're nonsense. They're nonsense. They like to touch kids. They like to touch kids.
How much did you get?
They like to touch kids. Especially Prophet Muhammad loves to touch kids. Bye bye Labour. Hello Reform.
That one is about to fill up. Like,
I'll just delete the one.
oh yeah, that's what. Format it. Then if you format on the